So for today, we will talk about the recruitment starter kit. So ano ba yung must-have tools for aspiring talent scouts? Okay? So let me share with you the agenda of this session. So for the agenda of this learning session, so we will talk about why recruitment matters. Gaano ba kahalaga ang recruitment sa isang kumpanya? Okay? And then, what are the impacts of effective recruitment strategies on business growth? And then the sourcing strategies in building effective talent pipelines. And then, so we also have here the techniques for screening and assessing candidates, and then onboarding best practices. So, let's start with why recruitment matters. Bakit ba mahalaga ang recruitment? Recruitment is important because it brings several benefits to a business. It is crucial for business growth as it ensures access to skilled talent, prepares workforce for changes, reduces turnover, and improves morale. Okay? So recruitment, it helps the company to hire talented individual. Okay? So the recruitment process, of course, it requires HR professionals to seek out candidates with the right education, skills, and professional experience for a job opening. Okay? It also allows the companies to hire individuals who value the same principle. Okay? So when companies have a strong recruitment process, it helps the HR professionals to determine um, whether candidates share the same principles and values in the workplace. Okay? And the next is it helps to connect companies with professionals for future job openings. Right? So even if a company select a different candidate, the HR team can stay connected to other qualified candidates who didn't receive positions. Okay? So I remember kasi when I was very active talaga in recruitment, we 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 always tend to have pool of candidates. Talagang yung mga pool of candidates namin, whether they pass the requirements or not, meron kaming list ng mga applicants. So para in the event na kailanganin ko yung ganong qualifications, madali akong makakahanap agad. Okay? And then next, it ensures the companies hired individuals who can help grow their business. Okay? So, definitely, pag tayo mga recruiters, when we search for candidates, we use recruitment resources to connect with candidates who holds the skills and qualities that could contribute to new business initiatives or goals of our company. So, what are the impacts of effective recruitment strategies on business growth? May impact ba ang effective na recruitment strategies sa growth ng business? Okay? So definitely, an effective recruitment strategies are the backbone of a successful business. Yes, kasi it helps us to provide the necessary workforce that we need in our company. Okay? So when we implemented a good recruitment strategies, it can save the business significantly in investing with people and of course with time. Right? So it helped us to retain skilled employees and reducing turnover rates. Okay? So a good recruitment strategies, it addresses skills gap and future talent needs. Okay? And then next is leveraging recruitment as a driver for business expansion. Okay? And then enhancing employer branding and reputation. A good recruitment, okay? Kami, when I was working in a recruitment agency before, we always tend to be very active in social media. Kasi that's how we build the reputation of the company. Okay? Gone are the days na ang mga aplikante naghahanap sa atin. Tayo na, kailangan we need to rebrand. We need to do the marketing for for our company, bakit tayo yung kailangang piliin ng mga applicants natin. Okay? And then next, it helps to improve workforce productivity and performance. Okay? Siyempre, if our workforce is puno ng mga magagaling at masisipag na mga empleyado, ganun din yung magiging effect dun sa mga empleyado natin, 'di ba? Kasi if they know that HR department is really working hard on building good people, developing their skills, mas marami mas tataas yung productivity and engagement natin. Okay? And then next, it mitigates risk and avoiding costly hiring mistakes. Okay? Alam nyo ba ang hire per cost? Magkano ang inaabot natin sa mga hiring natin? Okay? Do you have any idea? Okay? Dapat tayo as an HR, we need to be involved dun sa mga ganong factor. Unang-una, hindi pwede tayong hire ng hire. Okay? Kasi malaking cost ang kinakain niyan sa company if we hire the wrong people for the organization. Okay? Next, it fostering innovation through diverse talent acquisition. And then last is nurturing a positive company culture and employee experience. Okay? Siyempre, if your company is surrounded with good and talented people, nagiging mas maganda yung employee experience natin. So, what are the different sourcing strategies in building effective pipeline? Okay? So, we have the branding, pipeline, and sourcing. Okay? So, later, ayan. So, on the next slide, pag-uusapan natin yan lahat. Ayan. So, use branding to your advantage. Carefully create the content. Okay? So, ito na yung tinatawag natin na employer branding. Diba? So, you need to be very creative in doing your recruit or yung mga sourcing materials natin. Okay? So, it utilize internal as well and external sources. So, when we talk about utilize internal and external sources, you need to do manpower check. Check nyo muna among the sources of your employee kung meron ba tayo na tao na available that can easily fill up the vacancy. And then next is invest in employee development. Okay? Alam nyo ba, ang pinaka-effective na tool in getting more applicants is our employee. Hayaan natin yung mga empleyado natin ang magkalat about the goodness of the company, what's in it for them kapag sila ay nag-join sa ating company. Okay? So if we develop good employee engagement activities, maganda yung mga programs natin for our employee, hindi na kailangan natin gaanong gagalingan yung ating mga strategies kasi our people will do the work for us. Okay? So remember, in doing the employer branding, unang-una, employer branding is about demonstrating to your candidates that what working for your organization is all about. So make sure it leaves a positive impact. Your organization websites needs to have an organized career page that is candidate friendly. Diba? Kapag binigay niyo yung website nyo, makikita niya easily na navigate niya agad. Ano ba yung mga positions na pwede kong applyan dito sa company na to. Okay? And then, of course, you need to always keep track of your employer branding. Know what's up if a potential employee searches you up on any search engine or kung may mga client, okay? And then encourage your employees to have to put some employee review or positive review about the company. Okay? So social media can also be a great platform for giving a behind-the-scene insight into your organizational culture. Okay? So again, ayan. So sabi nga natin, employer branding is about word of mouth communication. it can be a great tool for positive employer branding. So you need to encourage your employees to share their experience via various social media platform. Okay? So I know naman a lot of companies nowadays are using and utilizing the use of Facebook, bukod pa doon sa ibang platform, kasi talagang a lot of users and a lot of candidates makukuha mo na din nowadays sa Facebook. So, setting up the talent pipeline. Okay? So, paano ba natin isi-set up yung talent pipeline? First, you need to identify areas where employee turnover is high. Diba? Of course, magpo-focus tayo kung saan mas malaki yung ating attrition rate. Okay? Certain roles within the organization have high turnover rates. So you need to identify these critical areas and having suitable talent in the pipeline for the roles with high attrition rate can significantly reduce the time to hire for these positions. Diba? For example, ang hinahire mo, developer. Yung mga hard to fill in positions. Diba? So you need to have enough talents for this. So paano natin gagawin yan? Kailangan nakikita natin yung turnover rates by having a good HR analytics. Okay? And then next is source for hard to fill in roles. A succession plan in place is having qualified candidates for hard to fill in roles that required a high level skill sets, like those of those who are in the senior executive level positions. It can give you or it will allow you to save more time and money for your company. Okay? Well, definitely kasi when we talk about senior level positions, mahirap talaga yung hanapin. Hindi yan easily available sa market natin. Okay? And then last is that you need to plan for future needs. So keep the company's growth and expansion plans in mind when planning for the talent pipeline. Knowledge regarding the upcoming projects within the company can help anticipate future needs. Okay? So parang just to share with you, with my previous company, we used to have an alignment meeting para nakikita namin lahat ano ba yung mga kailangan namin for the recruitment. Okay? With that, we were able to identify how many manpower do we need to prepare in advance. Diba? And then napaplano namin those positions that is not easily find or hard to fill in position. Ito yung mas inuuna namin na deployan. Okay? Mas una namin siyang mas pinaprioritize namin. Okay? So a talent pipeline is a pool of candidates. Ayan. So for those for better clarification, ano ba ang talent pipeline? It is a pool of candidates who are ready to fill in a position. This can be employees who are prospect for advancement or external candidate, partially or fully pre-qualified to take an opening. A talent pipeline is closely related to the term talent pool. Okay? So, ang talent pipeline, hindi lang yan magko-cover external applicants. You can also look into your internal manpower. Next is that you need to diversify your talent sourcing channel. Okay? So you can refine your sourcing channel by using the following. Okay? Una, there are multiple job titles for people working in this role. Marami ba tayong mga available talents? Diba? Where can you find people from the professional community? Which platforms are used by these job roles? Kumbaga, targeted yung gagawin natin. Diba? For example, you are looking for an executive, for a senior manager. Mahahanap mo ba ang senior manager sa Facebook? Where do you usually find these talents, 'di ba? So you need to identify the right sourcing channel para mahanap yung position na to? Saan ba sila laging available? Okay? So which companies use similar products, services, or technology? Okay? So normally to ginagawa natin, bakit natin dinadiversify yung ating talent sourcing is, again, para targeted. Diba? For example, you are looking for a technical officer na with special skill. So, you need to find sino bang company dito sa Pilipinas or abroad na nag-o-offer ng ganitong position para you know kung saan tayo pwedeng humanap. Hindi yung post tayo ng post, ina-exhaust natin ng ina-exhaust yung budget na available sa JobStreet using yung mga LinkedIn natin. But then, we fail to get the right candidate kasi hindi nga targeted yung ginagawa natin na pagsusource ng applicant. Okay? Where you should start the search for people required for this role, take into consideration the perspective of someone who has a deep domain knowledge for the role you are sourcing. So, sino ba yun? It is always the department head. Diba? Sila yung mas may alam kasi kung ano yung special skills or knowledge na dapat meron dun sa applicant natin. Hindi pag sinabing mag-source ka ng engineer, nag-source ka lang ng engineer, ang kailangan pa nila pala niya is specializing in water treatment. Diba? Not all engineers are good or have knowledge in water treatment. Okay? So you always have to remember that an effective way to build a strong talent pipeline is to be proactive in sourcing candidates and sourcing for the roles that are not yet open. Okay? The most advanced recruiters start the search for future job roles. They need to hire and take a proactive approach to their talent sourcing efforts. Okay? So to plan for future workforce, take a look at the business growth plans and corresponding workforce requirement. Dapat lagi tayong align. Ano ba ang roadmap ng company natin? Are into expansion? How many headcounts yung kailangan? Saang lugar yan? Okay? For sourcing candidates can be very helpful for recruiters, and this can be a great way to build a good talent pipeline and can add another sourcing channel dun sa mga available na sources natin sa company. So, let's talk about techniques for effective screening and assessing candidates. Number 1 is that you need to understand the importance of candidate screening. So, ano ba ang candidate screening? So, it is the process of evaluating job applicants to determine their suitability for a particular role within an organization. It involves assessing candidates' qualifications, skills, experience, and cultural fit with the company. Okay? So you always have to remember the success of any organization is heavily dependent on its ability to attract and hire the right talent. Okay? Next is that crafting clear and comprehensive job description. When sourcing for an applicant, you need to craft the right job description. Diba? You have to remember that a well-crafted job description serves as the foundation for effective candidate screening. It also outlines the responsibilities, qualifications, and requirements of the role, providing candidates with a clear understanding of what is expected from them. Okay? A comprehensive job description also helps employers to attract candidates who possess the desired skills and experience. Okay? It can save you time and cost again and again. Sourcing candidates through multiple channels. Okay? So, job boards and online platforms are valuable resources for candidate sourcing. So, these platforms allow employers to reach a broader, meaning mas malawak na pool ng mga potential candidates. Mas nagiging diverse kasi if we use different types of sourcing channels. Okay? So when posting job opening or job boards, you have to remember that you need to use the relevant keywords and tamang job title. Okay? Bakit? Kasi to optimize visibility and mas marami tayong candidate na makuha. Okay? Kaya dapat tayo, we need to be creative in um, renaming yung mga job titles. 'Di ba? Kasi yung iba kaya ang hirap i-fill in, masyadong highly technical yung position, yung pala ito yung ginagawa. And then next is the power of behavioral interviews. I know that a lot of us are marami introduction na talaga tayo with behavioral interviews. But then, ano ba yung naitutulong ng behavioral interviews? So, behavioral interviews are valuable tools for assessing candidates' soft skills, problem-solving abilities, and past experience. Okay? Remember that in doing the behavioral interview, it can help us to predict past behavior. Diba? Past behavior predicts future behavior. In behavioral interview, candidates are asked to describe specific situations they have encountered in the past and how they handled them. Okay? The interviewer, in this kind of interview, behavioral interview technique, uses predetermined behavioral questions to assess the candidate's responses. Okay? Behavioral interview, it also allows employers or us, recruiters, to assess candidates' soft skills by evaluating their responses to real-life scenarios. Okay? And then in addition or moreover, behavioral interviews provide insights into a candidate cultural fit with the organization. Okay? So it is very important then that when you are assessing an applicant, you apply the behavioral technique interview. Okay? And then, assessing technical and job-specific skills. Using tests and yung tamang tools in assessing the applicant for roles that require specific technical skills or experience or expertise. Skills tests and work samples can be invaluable in the screening process. Diba? Just like with my experience na we need to hire a licensed civil engineer. Right? But then not all licensed civil engineer are equipped in doing yung mga quotations and some proposal for the client. So what we did is that we tailor fit our skills test. So nag-devise kami ng isang exam na makikita namin yung kanyang skills in terms of performing this specific role. Kasi yun yung magiging role niya eh. So, doon namin siya susukatin na. Okay? So, by doing that, when we started adapting dun sa ganong skills test, mas madali for us to hire or hanapin yung position na kailangan namin for the organization. Kasi naka-tailor fit na eh. Hindi na namin, kung may mga adjustments na kailangan gawin sa company, very minimal na lang kasi marunong na siya and advanced na yung skills niya dun sa specific task na kailangan niyang i-focus. Conducting competency-based assessment. Okay, ano ba ang competency-based assessment? So, it is different siya from the behavioral interview. Competency-based assessment focuses on evaluating candidates against specific competencies that are essential for success in the role. So these competencies are usually aligned with the organization's values and job requirements. So to conduct an effective competency-based assessment, we must first define the core competencies necessary for the position. Diba? Dapat tayo yung una nakaka-identify. Ano ba yung mga core competencies that we need dito sa isang position na to? Okay? And then, doon natin ipo-focus yung magiging competency-based assessment yan. Okay? For example, you are looking for an HR na well-versed in, sabihin natin, sa labor. Diba? Would you get someone na ang experience is recruitment? Definitely hindi, di ba? But then, not all HR naman kasi, especially, bawa kung recruitment siya, it could be, sabihin niya, but then I do have an exposure. So, let's conduct a competency base. So, i-measure natin yung knowledge niya in terms of labor management para makita natin if we can advance or we can consider the applicant even though na hindi yun yung experience na meron siya. Okay? And then scoring candidates based on competency level. So during the screening process, candidates are evaluated based on their proficiency in each competency. Employers can use, or we can use a scoring system to rate candidates' levels of competency in each area. So by scoring candidates based on competency, we can gain a comprehensive view of each candidate's strengths and weakness. Okay? So, kailangan meron tayong established na scoring para makita natin makapag-compare natin yung mga results for each applicant. Ayan. Using pre-employment assessment. Okay? So, using pre-employment assessment such as personality and behavioral assessment. Okay? So, offer valuable insights into candidates' personality traits, work preference, and behavioral tendencies. Ngayon, marami naman tayo kasing mga behavioral or personality test that is available through online, like the 16PF, yung 16 personality factor. So, it can be facilitated online. Okay? And then, we also have the cognitive and aptitude test. So, normally, ito yung cognitive and aptitude test. It evaluates candidates' cognitive abilities, solving problem skills, and critical thinking capabilities. Okay? Ano ba yung mga ginagamit natin right now? Before, we used to, ginagamit namin is the TTMA, SRA form, A and B, may CFIT, I think 2 or 3 yata. 3. I think 3. Yung ginagamit for logic. Okay? But then there are marami pa talaga tayong cognitive assessments na pwede nating magamit in measuring the cognitive abilities and logical reasoning ng isang aplikante. Okay? And then next is embracing video interviews and remote assessment. Okay? Kasi ngayon advanced na technology, di ba? So, kailangan open na rin tayo dun sa mga ganong possibilities. Nung dumating si COVID, mas lumawak na naging broaden yung understanding ng mga employers na that video interview, yung mga online interview is actually doable. Okay? Video interview, it allows us to conduct a face-to-face interview with candidates regardless of their location. Diba? So, for example, yung expansion natin is in Mindanao. Diba? By doing the online interview or yung video interview, it will not require you to go pa physically in Mindanao. Kasi you can conduct the interview anywhere. Okay? It allows you to save time and resources. Okay? And the next is the importance of candidate reference. I hope that all of us are still conducting the reference check. Okay? Candidate reference play a crucial role in verifying candidates' qualifications and work experience. Okay? Speaking with previous employers or professional contacts can provide valuable insights into a candidate performance, work ethics, and interpersonal skills. Huwag tayong masyadong na-overwhelm sa mga applicants kapag during the interview, hindi, magaling yan. Let's do the background check muna para makita natin in terms of the leadership, gaano ba siya mag-handle or paano ba siya mag-handle ng mga tao niya. Okay? And then next is the evaluating cultural fit and organizational alignment. Okay. This is very crucial. Alam nyo ba kung bakit? Cultural fit is a crucial factor in determining a candidate's long-term success with an organization. Maraming magagaling na aplikante, but then not all applicants are magiging fit sa ating culture. Okay? A candidate who aligns with the company values, mission, and culture is more likely to thrive and contribute positively in the organization. Okay? So, kailangan na-check din natin yung culture fit ng isang aplikante. Pasok ba to dun sa values, sa mission and vision ng company namin? Okay? Hindi porkit magaling, kukunin natin. You check also the cultural fit of the applicant. If it is aligned with the organizational values, culture, and mission and vision. Okay. So let's talk about the onboarding best practices. Why it is important na tayong yung mga aspiring talent scout needs to adapt with the onboarding best practices. Okay? So why? Kasi employee onboarding is important because they show the candidate that you care for their experience, moral, and performance. So how do we build or how do we go about the best practices in terms of the onboarding? First, start before day 1. Diba? So bago pa natin papuntahin yung applicant, so tomorrow will be your official date of hire. So ibibigay ko na sa iyo ano ba yung I'll have you I'll give you the opportunity na ma-meet na yung mga tao natin, to be familiar with the facilities ng buong opisina. 'Di ba? Hindi yung day 1 ng tao doon pa lang natin sila kumbaga tinutour or iniikot doon sa ating opisina. Kailangan on the first day ma-feel na niya that he is part of the company. Okay? So, how do we go about with the day 1? A list of paperwork they need for the first day. So, bigyan na natin sila agad. So, advance. So, ito yung mga requirements that you need to submit. Okay? Bigyan na din natin sila list of directory ng mga empleyado natin. Of course, a welcome from their direct manager is highly recommended. And then, a step-by-step rundown of their workplace location and where to report of their first day. Okay. Kailangan alam ng aplikante. Unang araw pa lang niya, I have meeting ngayong araw na to sa HR ako. Diba? Hindi yung dadating siya, guard agad ang kausap, hindi niya alam kung ano yung activity niya. Okay, and then next is assign a buddy. Okay? Mag-buddy-buddy system muna tayo. Bigyan natin siya. Consider assigning a teammate to be his new buddy. Para makasama niya lang. Para may makapag-guide sa kanya. Nasaan ba yung mga records room, para mas maging mabilis sa kanya yung adjustment sa ating workplace. Okay? So, next is get the whole team involved. Okay? So, with our company, the normal operations that we are doing whenever we have a new hire is that nagkakaroon talaga kami ng mga wina-welcome namin sila. So all of us are involved, nagpapatawag kami ng mga team huddle na of course, I would like you to meet and greet our new hire para mas madali para sa kanya na makipagtrabaho dun sa mga empleyado natin. Okay? And then next is that include cultural onboarding. Okay? So bakit importante na ini-involve sila dun sa mga cultural onboarding natin? Okay? So that they can easily adjust with the workplace. Di ba nga, marami ng empleyado ang umaalis because of the workplace. Minsan sasabihin nila, hindi naman ako umalis because of the trabaho. Umalis ako because of the environment. Okay? So, tulungan natin sila na makapag-adjust dun sa culture natin. And then, focus on the big picture. When we talk about focus on the big picture, as much as we want na ibigay sa kanya lahat or endorsean siya agad, ito yung magiging trabaho niya, unahin muna natin kung ano yung mas importante. Ano yung mas importante na una niyang matutunan. Okay? Remember that onboarding, it is not an arena na basta mo ibabato yung tao, o sige, sabakin mo. Ito yung mga problema, tapusin mo. Okay? So, we need to focus on the big picture. Unahin kung ano yung mas una niyang dapat matutunan. Okay? Kasi eventually, pwede naman yan mai-adjust, and dahil since may body tayo na kasama, pwede nila yang mapagtulungan. Okay? Define and measure success. Okay? So, onboarding process also needs to be measured. Kailangan nakikita natin, effective ba yung onboarding program natin. For example, when hiring for a business development officer, diba? So, sales yung pinofocus niya. So, paano ba natin sa kanya to madodro dun sa attention niya na ito yung mga achievements or the expectations sa'yo ng company. Okay? Ayan. So, that's why it is very important kasi like what we are doing in our company, we set people to meet the requirements, not to set them to fail. Talagang binibigyan namin sila ng allowance to understand well the company's culture and values, yung mga approaches at work. Okay? And then, get feedback. Get feedback from our employees. Oh, how's your onboarding? Saan ka ba nahirapan? Diba? Para mas ma-refine natin yung process. So, for example, may mga process in accounting that employee needs to be involved para ma-include natin. And then next is utilize different training methods. So, sabi nga, ang training should always be 70-30. 30% is the classroom training and then 70% is the on-site training. Ito yung on-the-job training. Ito yung actual na ginagawa niya. Okay? And then, last is don't stop onboarding. Hindi porket naka 1 month na si empleyado o naka 1 month ka na ha, kailangan as sales executive or business development manager, makapag-build ka na ng mga new business for the company. Hindi ganun yun. Okay? Sabi nga natin sa onboarding, tutulungan natin sila to meet the expectations of the company. Okay? Hindi porket naka 1 month, tapos na yung obligation natin doon sa mga new hires natin. Okay? Kasi remember, if we were able to build onboarding best practices for the company, maganda yung magiging employee experience. Ay, trabaho ka dito sa amin. Ang ganda ng culture. Tuturuan ka na mas ma-develop yung skills mo, ma-hone pa yung mga knowledge mo. Okay? So, I hope that everyone is still with us and marami talagang natutunan. So, that's all for our presentation for this evening.